Car said she grabbed my hand, girls ran through, met the bar, witnessing. Tears fled the head, I'm waiting, I guess she tweeting, I guess she confess, she thinking less, not drinking less. Bathroom says, investigate, spontaneous, I stereotype, put to rest tonight. Imagine, believe, and achieve, it works. Skyline as a rise like fireworks.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to After the Storm. I'm your host, Matt Clark. Of course, we're talking about that deflating Thunder Spurs game when we lost 120 to 122 to the Spurs, falling to 20 and 48. They are now 26 and 43. It was just the end of that game. I didn't understand what was happening at the end of the game. I don't understand some of the moves that our Coach D made, but we'll discuss that later on in the game. But anyway, we started tonight with SGA, Mann, Bays, Roby, and Wiggins. And some of you guys have been asking for the graphics, so thought I'd put up my keys to the game where clearly we have to protect the paint by committee because they just, the Spurs of the last few games just dominate us inside, getting second shots, kicking out, and killing us from the three. And the second thing we've got to do is get no easy looks for them to the basket, which means basically don't give them wide open shots. Rotate over the defense, cut off the lane, cut off the drive. When they kick it out, get your hand up. So no easy looks. Play good perimeter defense. Try to keep them in front of you. Do not let them take them off the dribble. And which means obviously no easy pass to the basket, which means everybody's got to get up, try to block shots, try to get your hand on the ball, whatever it's got to take, not to let them shoot a bunch of easy layups and be able to kick the ball out for three for wide open looks. So anyway, those were my keys to the game. One thing that's been driving me nuts with the Thunder is overpassing. It just drives me crazy. Quit passing the ball so much. You're at the rim, finish. I mean, it was like we get to the rim and then we got to kick it out. Like SGA lost the ball late in the game simply because he slowed down, and normally he's in full attack mode, but he slowed down thinking the defender was going to come out and he was going to kick it to Baisley, I believe it was, in the corner, or maybe it was either, I'm pretty sure it was Baisley in the corner. And he was going to kick it to him, but because he slowed down and hesitated, it allowed Murray to reach around and stop the ball away from him. So that's normally what SGA does not do, but he normally is in full attack mode. So, but anyway, stop overpassing. When you get to the rim, finish. And then Baisley and, Roby, play within your capabilities. Because right there at the beginning of the game, both of them just took the ball and started going, helter-skelter down the court. And, we went 2.5 minutes without scoring. And then SGA took the ball and was like, boom, and they get us a basket. Guys, realize the offense runs through SGA. You guys and man, y'all don't take off and try to do all the scoring. Let him work it because as he goes, that frees you guys up to take easy shots. You don't have to worry about putting any additional pressure on yourselves. You get wide open looks. So to me, it's like it's really easy. Just give him the ball. Let him get us off. If he wants to take a shot, whatever. But he's going to get you guys off. When you guys are trying to play and do more than you're capable of, it just gets us out of whack. And I will say this. It was a great timeout by Coach D saying, hey, bro, what are y'all doing? Let's get SGA the ball. And all of a sudden, boom, we're scoring and we get back into the game. We start rolling. And then I have another with Coach D. My deal with Coach D is on fire tonight. Last game, Maladon did not foul the guy on three. You're busy walking up the court, looking up at the thing. Maladon is telling you, Coach, I did not touch him. You did not throw the challenge, which was a three-point play. Huge turning point in the game in Memphis. Huge turning point. But yet you call every time Poku has a deal, you throw the challenge flag out for him. I don't understand that. Is that your dude? Whatever. You got some sort of soft spot. Every time there's a questionable call with him, you throw the challenge flag. Maladon, clearly you're waiting. Well, you waited too late to call the timeout and threw the challenge. Boom. What happens? Referees go, delay a game, boom, let's move on. Shot the 2 free throws. Total turning point in the game. Had you gone ahead and challenged that, Maladon, we're on replay, we could see. Maladon never touched him. But if that had been Poku, I promise you would have did it. So that wears me out. Tonight, I'm sitting there looking at another challenge flag. Should have been done. You didn't do it. I don't really understand that. I don't really get that. I don't understand what you're doing with that. I don't understand how Uh, you know, I don't understand how you're not. How does it not work? I don't understand that. I really don't. But start calling the challenge flags for the rest of your players, please. So let's look at our first quarter stats. Thunder, we were down 29 to 37 to end the first quarter. We were 2 for 6 from three. We shot 54% from the field with 10 rebounds and, of course, points in the paint 16, which is one of my keys, is, controlling the lane by committee, which I thought we did a very good job of rebounding and points in the paint. You can look at that. The Spurs were 5 for 11 from three and 58% from the field with 10 rebounds and 16 points. So we matched them almost deal for deal, except that they were knocking down threes and we weren't. Which, you know me, I'm not a big proponent of us shooting a lot of threes. I don't want to shoot a three. We can't shoot threes. That's just not our thing. And every time we get into a three-point shooting contest with someone, it ends up going bad for us every single time. So I'm not a proponent of that. I'm more of a proponent of us passing the ball, moving the ball, move without the ball, catch the ball, finishing at the rim. Not overpassing, not get to the rim trying to kick it out. You're at the rim, finish. And please use the glass. SGA is back the only player we got that will use the glass. Wiggins did tonight, but Maladon and man, they want a finger roll at the rim. Dude, use the backboard. Use the glass. It's there for a reason. SGA, you'll see he uses the glass over and over and over. Why? It increases your chances of making the basket. If you try to use the rim, you don't know what the heck's going to go. You put a little bit of spin on the ball, which everyone does, and then what happens? You put a little bit of spin on the ball, it's going to hit once, bam, it's gone. Use the glass. So the Thunder go into the second quarter with Maladon, Sars, Waters, Mann, and Wiggins. I'm not a fan of this lineup. I've talked about it before. You have really no scores in this lineup. Waters and Mann, I guess, are supposed to be your scorers, but I don't like this lineup at all. But once again, you know, our execution has been very, very bad normally in the second quarter because we start out with this group. We don't really get anything, really thing going. But tonight, we did stay within ourselves. We were playing pretty good. We started out great. We were executing, giving up, making passes. But then all of a sudden, we get within 5, and then what? 3 offensive rebounds. They get a 3. Down 2. Horrible decisions on the offensive end, giving up wide open threes on the other side. We get another turnover. We give them 3 more offensive rebounds. And then what happens? All of a sudden, you're down 12. And it's simply because of the little things. It's the little things that make a difference. We have to rebound by committee. I've talked about this over and over and over. And pretty sure one of my keys was what? We talked about that. One of the keys to the game is what? Protect the paint by committee. It's one of my keys. Everybody has to get in there and rebound. There was one time when we have 3 guys, they had 1 and they got the rebound. How the hell does that work? We have 3 guys and they got 1, he gets the rebound and the putback. The little things that make a difference, people. It's the little things. And once again, G League players playing against NBA players. Our guys are playing hard. There's no quit in them. They're doing everything they possibly can to get the most out of what they have to offer, except when they try to play without themselves. And as long as they're going through SGA and letting him get in his bag, we're fine. We're 100% good as long as the offense is running. Just give the ball up. Quit flying down the court. Give the ball up. Let him come up the court slow. Get us in our offensive sets. Let him start attacking. Move without the basketball. He will hit you on a cut. Or you can knock down a wide open shot. But give the ball up. Quit trying to run up and down the court and do stuff that you're not capable of doing. It gets us in trouble every single time. It's very, very frustrating. So we look at the second quarter stats. They outscored us by 10 points, 27 to 37. Our three-point percentage, we were 5 for 12. Remember, we were 2 for 6, so we were 3 for 6, which is 50%. Is not bad. They were 5 for 11 the first quarter and ended up being 10-23 for the half. 54% shooting for us, 47 for them. We had 18 rebounds. They had 24. We had 28 points in the paint. They had 22. 10 turnovers to 7. Now, 3 turnovers don't seem like a lot, but it's when the turnovers happened. That's what makes the difference. We turned it over at the wrong time to do that. Therefore, the Spurs got a chance to get out to a 56-68 halftime lead. And you go 10 for 23. Well, those turnovers, those 3 turnovers, that's 6 points on or 9 points on threes, right there. So stats do matter. I mean, but you look at this. We shoot 54%, they shoot 47%, and we're down 12 points at half. We're down at half. Makes no sense, huh? But, the big key was they had 14 second chance points. 14 second chance points. Now, I should have put that stat on there, and because that's huge. Because I promise you, 12 of those were threes. Promise you, 12 of those points were off 4 shots. Because they got in transition, and we talk about this over and over and over. Your team gets out in transition, they make the easy shot. You gotta stay. You cannot turn the ball over, let a team get out in transition, they start rolling. This is the NBA. We're the same way. If we get some turnovers and we start knocking down shots, we're the exact same way, which is what happened later in the game, and we'll talk about that. So, third quarter, you come out with our starting group, which is SGA, Bays, Roby, Mann, and Wiggins. Like I said, I like the fact that Coach D is starting the second guys, the same guys he starts the game with, which lets everybody understand what the rotation is. I really like the fact that he does that. But what were our keys? We had to take care of the basketball. We have to move without the ball, please. Finish at the rim and guard the perimeter. Those are our keys to the second half. And next game, I'll have the keys to the second half. I should have done that, and I apologize. And I'll have that up there. So I am taking cue from those of you who are watching and who are letting me know, giving me feedback, and I greatly appreciate the feedback. And remember, go to YouTube, subscribe, and like. So I would appreciate that, doing that. So what do? We start out an 8-3 run. I love that. And then what do we start doing? Overpassing. Overpassing. You're at the rim. Shoot the ball. You're at the rim. Why would you give up a 3-foot or 2-foot shot for a 15 or 20-foot shot? Makes no sense. You're there, finish. You can shoot a teardrop. You can shoot a floater. You have a reverse. You have a scoop. You have a hook shot. You have multitudes. You have a jump hook to either hand. So that's 8 moves, 9 moves right there I've given you that you could do at the rim. Preferably, for most of our guys, I'd rather be a floater or a teardrop, which is where, remember, floaters are off 2 feet, teardrops are off 1. Either one of those, I would prefer those. Instead of trying to do something spectacular, like Baisley got his shot blocked tonight, instead of doing a reverse, he tried to come in and score on this side, on the same side of the basket, and Proto's chasing him from behind. Always use the rim for protection. I teach my kids all day long. When you got the rim and the guy's behind you, you always use the rim for protection, either via scoop or reverse. Use the rim for protection. But did we do that? No. Did we try to do too many things we're not capable of doing? Yes. So, in that quarter, at one point, we were 11 for 18. SJ was 9 for 9. The rest of the team was 2 for 9. And I want to say this. Baisley did show up in the third quarter and made a couple huge threes. And like I said, I'm always going to give people credit. Now, like I tell people all day long, it's great that you score a bunch of points. When do you score them? It's not how many, it's when. Are you scoring them in the fourth quarter? Are you scoring them when the game's close? Or are you scoring them when it's irrelevant? The game was on the line. It was 83-91 with 2 minutes to go. And here are the plays. They made a layup, got an offensive rebound for 3. We scored. Come back, we hit. They get it. They miss. Paisley hits a 3. They come back, hit a three. SGA has a horrible turnover. San Antonio gets the layup, and then Baisley hits a three at the buzzer. So what did that do for us? 91-98. So we break into their lead at half. We outscore them 35-30 because that end of the quarter run was fantastic by us. Uh, SGA and Baisley were great, and SGA was just, I mean, anytime they tried to do a run, he said no. He answered, and that's a part of the problem that we have is that he does not have somebody can run with it. And you look at his body language, like he made that one shot, got us within seven. You can just see him go, yeah, going crazy. Why? He's frustrated. He doesn't have anybody. He doesn't have the help. Now you got Josh Giddey Dort in there. Makes a huge difference. He knows he's got somebody to run with him. And remember, our starters pretty much play Giddey and Dort. They pretty much play one of those three, or we have two of those three. Dort, Giddey, and SJ usually play the whole third quarter, and then he comes out and plays sits SGA in the start of the fourth quarter and start of the second quarter. But when you look at that, we were 8 for 22 from three. And remember, we were 5 for 12. Okay? So we were 3 for 10. And remember, Baisley hit 2 of those in the last 2 minutes. So we were 1 for 8 up until that point. The Spurs, on the other hand, were 16 for 34. Remember, they were 10 for 23. So they were 6 for 11 in that quarter. And we couldn't get back on, but then you look at the field goal percentage. We're shooting 56, they're shooting 46. We're out rebounding them by 2, 34-32. Points in the paint by 8, we have 40, they have 32. Turnovers, 14-9. We had 4, they had 2 in that quarter. But it was when we turned the ball over. But once again, they doubled us in threes. Why? The turnovers we made, and then they would get the shots. But we were playing great interior defense. We were playing pretty much great defensive perimeter defense, which is part of the keys that I said. But the problem is when they get out in transition and they get some easy baskets and they knock down those threes, it kills us. Then once they get in actual offensive mode, it doesn't really matter because they're rolling at that point. But think about this. We're shooting 50%, 56%, and we're down by 7. I mean, think about that for a minute, guys. We're shooting 56% and we're down 7. They're shooting 46% up 7. Why? Because of threes. They doubled us in threes. And remember, they lead the league in assists. But a lot of it, when we played defense, we were playing good perimeter defense. They were just knocking down shots. They weren't really getting that many open shots. But once they got in rhythm, it doesn't really matter. This is the league. And once guys get in rhythm, it's over. Doesn't really matter. Once a team gets in rhythm, they are going to knock down shots. And there's not a lot you can do about that. So we're going to go to the fourth quarter. We start with Poku, Mann, Wiggins, Maladon, and Krejci. And this is where my frustration just goes to another level in this quarter. We start out great, fantastic. We cut the lead to 3 right away. It's 106-106 with 7 minutes to go. And we're on a run. We're busting their butts. Okay? We're on a 15-8 run. And with 7 minutes to go, Popovich pulls in Murray. And the first thing we did, we looked at Mark Long and I looked at each other and was like, okay, here comes SGA. No. And let's get this straight. I'm like, okay, they put in their best player. We've just made a 15-8 run. And they're putting their best player to stop the run, but yet you don't put in our best player to counter their best player to keep our run going. I don't understand that, Coach D. I don't understand that. I'm confused at that one. That's one of the things, that's two of the things I'm confused about today. The no challenge and then that. And once again, Mark's favorite comment, 2 minutes too long. We lost the momentum in those 2 minutes. He brings SGA in at 5:43. We're down 109-112. But what does he do? He puts in Lindy Waters with him. Lindy hadn't played the whole second half. And you're going to put him in? The game is tight. You're going to put him in? And what happens? Two bad things right in a row, and you got to pull him right back out. That's unfair to him to put him in that situation at that moment. At that point, that's coaching. That's understanding who you can put in, what's going on. We had a chance to win a game. That's coaching right there. I'm going to call you out. And normally, I'm your biggest defender. A lot of my friends don't like him. Don't like Coach D. I like the guy. But when he screws up, I'm going to call you out. When you do great, I'm going to call you out. Baisley, same thing. Baisley does good, I call him out. I say, great. Lindy Waters under the bridge, when he does good, I do the same thing with him. But for the most part, he is a first half guy. Teams figure him out, and it's over. He wasn't effective tonight because when he gets guys who are his length or his height with length and athleticism, unless he gets a wide open shot, he's ineffective, and he can't guard him on the other end. And then when he did get wide open threes, shot an air ball. So I don't get that. But I just look at this team. I'm excited about it. But those are keys right there I don't get. They put in their best player. You don't put a counter with our best player against Memphis. You put him in with 9 minutes to go. With 7 minutes to go, the score is tied. They bring in their deal to stop us, and Murray comes in and knocks down shots right away and stop our run. Right away. And then you're going to wait 2 minutes to put SJ in. What was that? Sorry, my frustration level is high right now. So then we throw in 2 straight air balls, but we come back. And we start a run on the guys. So with 30 seconds left, we're probably one of the best teams at going for 2-for-1s with 30-plus seconds to go, knowing there's a 24-second shot clock, and we want to get the last shot. SGA is fantastic at that. But he had one of the most horrible shots I've ever seen him take. I don't know what that was. Now, granted, I understand what you were trying to do, but why not try to get us a better shot at that point? Now, did it pay off? Sure. Because we were down 1. I mean, we had a perfect chance right there. Down 1, got the ball, you throw up the shot, but we still get the ball, played fantastic perimeter defense, rebounded the ball by committee, and then what do? We get a nice, fast transitional basket, and SGA throws a perfect pass to Poku for the finish with 4.8. And I said this right then. I said, did we score too soon? Did we score too soon? I was hoping that we did not, but 4.8 seconds is a long, long time. So they call timeout, take the ball out of bounds. We set everything up on our defense. Another timeout, and then we take Sarr off the out-of-bounders. So you put in Kreshke over Sarr. So you have a 7-footer guarding the guy out of bounds. And you put in a guy who's not 7 foot to take the guy out of bounds. Second thing, I teach my kids from the very beginning, at the end of the game, you do not want the pass to go towards the basket. You want it to go towards half court, not towards the basket. You're trying to defend, but the last thing you want to do is shift to give a pass inside towards the basket, which is exactly what Kreshke did. He shifted, got the ball in lane. Now, granted, it was a Hail Mary throw-up shot. Defense was there, no doubt. But the ball should have never been there. The ball should have been out towards half court, not inside. That's one of the things you're taught. Do not let the ball go towards the basket. You guard the basket. But if you have a 7-footer in there, that's something you should tell him. You have an NBA staff. You should know this. Do not let the ball come inside. And one of the best guys at that was Phil Jackson, Pat Riley both. They put a big guy, their tallest guy, on the guy out of bounds. I would always put my tallest guy on the guy out of bounds, unless they had the big man. Then I put my second tallest because I want to match them inside, the height for height. And I put my second tallest guy on the guy out of bounds to make them try to have a hard time. And I tell them, do not let them throw the ball towards their basket. Make them throw it as far away from their basket as possible so that we can give us a better chance and they'll be more helter-skelter. But that didn't happen. They did throw up a lucky shot and won, but those are things that I'm sorry, I don't know how you missed that. Final score: Thunder 120, Spurs 122. Thunder 15 for 34 from three, which I thought was fantastic, limiting the times that we shot the ball. Spurs 19 of 41, which they were 3 for 7 in the fourth quarter because we played magnificent defense. And you look at it, 53% versus 44, 47-48 on rebounds, 48-40, we had the advantage in points in the paint, 17-12 turnovers. And our bench was fantastic, 19 outscoring them 19 to 5. And then yet we come up so short. Simply because of the things I just discussed at the end of the game. But the Thunder played fantastic overall. There's no quit in this team. We're a few players away, guys. And remember, we're basically a G League playing team. That's what we are. So the coaching is very good, don't get me wrong. Am I going to critique them when they screw up? You bet I am. Am I going to praise them? They've done a fantastic job with what they have to offer thus far. So I'm pleased and proud of what the coaching staff has done with what we have. Anyway, Thunder fall 120-122 to the Spurs. Great game by Gas. SGA was deep in his bag once again. And remember, you're going to have to draft well to keep this guy. Because remember, only a few years from now, he don't have to sign with us again. So you better draft well and get some players around him because you can look at his body language. He's getting frustrated. Once again, thank you for watching After the Storm. I'm your host, Matt Clark. Everybody be safe tonight. Peace out.